We've all been told we need to save money, budget better, have an emergency fund. But no matter how many times we hear it, it doesn't seem to make a difference. More than 5 billion people around the world continue to struggle with money and financial illiteracy. Steve Siebold and Tom Mathews are the authors of the new book, How Money Works. Stop Being a Sucker. And they join us now. Gentlemen, good to have you both here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So, yes, the world, we're in trouble when it comes to money. How do we change our attitudes about money?
Yeah, I think we need to develop a more positive relationship with money. Because as you know, we're brought up as kids to sort of fear money. It's a negative thing. It's the root of all evil. You're always going to have to worry about it and stress about it. And it really isn't like that for a small percentage of the population who sees money as opportunity and freedom and possibility. And I think so. I think we need to change our relationship right off the bat with money.
Okay, but there are a lot of people coming out of school with a ton of debt, and they're feeling overwhelmed, and they think they'll never get over this or through this. So what do you say to them?
Well, the one thing we would say is that, since it's not taught in school, learning some of the basics just gives you a chance. You can take the job you do get when you get out of school and figure out how much do you need to save, where, how, for how long, what kind of goals do you set, what's reasonable, what's not. And you have to have a baseline to follow. And if you don't have some kind of knowledge, what do you do? Many do nothing.
Are you finding most people are living beyond their means?
Far beyond their means. Yeah, and they've never really been taught how to budget and the time value of money, and we're not taught in schools. As we were talking off camera,
right.
We're not taught this in school. So where are we going to learn this? Our parents typically don't know it, so we kind of go in uneducated, and it just continues down the generations.
Okay, so how do you break the cycle with this book?
Well, we not only give you the basics, but we think, if you can imagine a universe of financial books, we boiled it down to about 120 pages, something you could read in an hour. And you take that basic knowledge, and then we created some milestones that we think are the steps you need to follow to make all the possibility for your financial life happen.
How do rich people feel differently than most people about money? What's their relationship with money, and how is that different?
Well, I've interviewed rich people for 35 years, self-made millionaires, and they have a positive relationship with money. I think it starts there, but they think about money all the time, but not in the same...
Is that healthy?
Well, in the context of possibility, again, freedom, and it's not the most important thing in the world, but it certainly is one of them, to make life work, and so you don't have to be stressed out about it. So they do spend a lot more time thinking about money, but in a positive sense as opposed to worrying about money.
Right. Okay, what's something that people at home, takeaways right now, that they can do no matter how old they are, what their background is, what can they do to have more of it? Because there's billions out there, you just have to know how to get it.
Well, one thing people are going to have to probably consider is entrepreneurism. Because if what you do for a living doesn't give you enough at the end of the day or the end of the month, then you have to figure out how do you add to that. And everybody can't work overtime or find a way to make more. So you got to do something to bring some value to your finances that way.
But there is a belief that you have to spend money to make money. What if you don't have that money to invest in yourself to make money?
You really don't have to. That's really a misnomer. I mean, that really is something you can spend money to make money. Certainly the wealthy do that. But you really don't have to. I mean, if you find a problem to solve, in a free market economy, you can get paid to solve it. And it doesn't take money up front all the time to do that. So I think you have to be creative.
How did you both become such experts in money? Because I know at one point you were not doing so well when you had a ton of debt.
I was broke, yeah.
You were broke. Yeah. So how did you get from there to here? I
started interviewing self-made millionaires in 1984, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. And you probably were not around back then, but I was.
You're sweet.
Well, they taught me a totally different way to look at money. And about 4 or 5 years into the interviews, honestly, I realized I was the problem. It was the way I was thinking about money and approaching it. And so I just started copying the way they taught me in the interviews, and that changed everything.
Is there something people should start giving up in order to have more money? I mean, we always say, instead of going out for that cup of coffee every day, make your own. Is that too simple, or do those little things actually work?
I think it's like any other goal that you set. If you're serious about it, you'll find a way to do the things that will cause that to be possible for it to happen for you.
And the book is really easy to read.
Very clear.
And it's something, again, we should be talking to our kids about money so that they don't end up like so many other adults right now who are struggling.
Absolutely. It's just unnecessary.
And it doesn't have to be generational.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly right.
Break that cycle.
That's right.
All right, gentlemen. Steve Siebold and Tom Mathews, authors of How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. Thank you both very much.
You're welcome.
Danny, over to you.
Australia is